In our last two sessions, I talked about a woman who told her son he couldn't come to her house while he was using drugs. I suggested that telling him he couldn't live with her was certainly reasonable, but trying to motivate him by throwing him out of her life probably wouldn't help. He was using in the first place because he didn't feel loved, and her keeping him away would only contribute to his feeling more unloved. So, remember in the last session, she was concerned about having him at her house because he could be very aggressive and angry when he was using. So I said to her, I'm sure he can. So when his behavior is bad, tell him that he has to leave. Not because you don't love him, but because he's affecting other people. But don't talk about the drugs. It doesn't help. And tell him he's welcome back when he's feeling better. But what you tend to say to him is, you can't be here when you're using. And then he argues with you and says things like, oh, I'm not using. And she said, how did you know that? I said, I've heard a few of these conversations. And addicts almost always lie about their drug use. And once you make it about their drugs, you have an argument that goes nowhere. So keep it about his behavior, which is hard to deny. Tell him that he's being angry and difficult and he's affecting other people and he has to leave. Then welcome him back when he feels better. If you do that, he's much more likely to feel like you care about him. She said, well, I feel like I'm just letting him get away with it. I couldn't help but laugh again at that point. Many of us think we somehow hold the scales of justice for the world, don't we? We don't want anybody to get away with anything. When they do something wrong, we want to punish them. But that doesn't make them less likely to do what's wrong. And it doesn't make them happier. And it doesn't make us happier either. It's real love that makes people happier. And when they feel loved enough, they don't have a need to do the things that are hurtful to themselves and to others. I said to this woman, you've tried everything else. You've tried punishing him, yelling at him, sending him to treatment, even putting him in jail. How can you lose by loving him? It's all he really wants. If he feels loved enough, and that might take some time, he won't feel empty and alone anymore. And then it's very unlikely that he'll even want to use drugs. Don't try to control him or manipulate him. Just love him. And trust that the power of real love is greater than the power of anger and criticism. Because it is.